Welcome to the DSL Fundamentals of Leadership course. I'm Ron Ward, the owner of Forward Operations and the author of The Dirty Side of Leadership. I have a broad and extensive background in leadership. You can check out my bio at ronward.com if you're interested. In my book, I discuss my journey and I tell a lot of stories about my childhood moving all the way up through my career, and then the second half of the book I give leadership advice. But during those stories, I try to take you on a journey with me. And that's what I want to do with this course. I want you to think that we are just sitting together, learning and having coffee. I think sometimes we look at training programs that seem too academic or they're too much theory. And I want us to talk about some practical applications throughout this course. I also want you to rely on your own journey. They made you who you are. You've got life experiences that you can capitalize, and it will improve your leadership. And other life experiences maybe you need to just start turning away from and forgetting about. So in my book, I have what's called Dirty Lessons. There's 100. And we are going to have contributors. So as we cover those 100 dirty lessons together, there's going to be people from various backgrounds, various cultures, experience levels. They're going to weigh in periodically on one of the DLs. So we're going to get their perspective, which I think makes this program super cool. I want to encourage you to take notes. However you take notes best, whether that's an old pen and paper, whether it's on a tablet, your phone. But take notes on what you're learning, but also make yourself some notes to challenge yourself. Consider it a letter to yourself. Periodically, we're going to remind you to take notes. Some things will come on the screen that you can write down. It will help you. It will help you stay engaged and also help you later on down the road. But before we do that, before we go any further, I want to do something that most leadership programs that I've been involved with do not do. And that is, I want to promote some behavior change. I want to promote improvement. So I want to ask you some very pointed questions, and hopefully you will take these seriously. And they're going to make a big difference in your participation in this program. So number one, did you take this course to get training out of the way? I've been there, I've done that. If you did that, I hope that you will get more out of it. Number two, regardless of your experience, are you willing to do some self-evaluation? Will you take a deep dive into your own heart, your own mind, your own soul, and determine if there are things that you learn that you need to work on? We have to be vulnerable. We have to be open. And throughout the program, I'm going to both tell you successes that I've had, but also failures, and you can learn from both. Number three, how would your management colleagues describe you? Or if you're not in management yet, how would your colleagues describe you? And that's very important. You know down deep if you're effective, if you're respected, and maybe they have some not so good things to say about you, and maybe some of it's true. Only you know that. Or maybe you need to talk to a trusted colleague and find that out. But it's very important because many times perception is reality. Okay. Number four, how would your direct reports describe you? People who report to you, if you're a team lead or a manager, how would they describe you? Again, there's outliers. There's always people that may say untrue things, but generally speaking, how would they describe you? Number five, and this is so important, are you willing to make the necessary changes if needed? Are you willing to make necessary changes if needed? When you do that deep dive and you find out, I've not been responsive, I'm not a good collaborator, or I could improve, I've not been as good a team player as I could be, I don't work independently very well, and maybe I need to increase my knowledge. All those things you need to ask yourself, and if changes are needed, you need to make those changes. Remember, you can rebrand yourself. Businesses do it all the time. It may take some time. You may have to display some new habits and a new way that you do business, but you can rebrand yourself if you're willing. Number 6, are you committed to be a lifelong learner? I will tell you this, I was learning the whole time when I was an academy director working for the government, but I learned a lot writing the book, and I've learned a lot putting this course together. If you are a lifelong learner, the sky's the limit, I'm telling you. Number 7, would you like to develop more passion to lead or reignite your passion? I want you to be passionate to lead, but if you've been burned out a little bit, I hope we can reignite your passion, because I've been there before. And number 8, are you willing to have some fun? I hope that we can keep this interesting. We're going on a journey together. I'll try to use some humor. I make myself laugh. It may not be funny to you, but I don't want this to be just another stale program. I hope to incorporate some stories and things like that to keep it interesting. So with no further ado, let's get started.